Hello and welcome everyone again to a wonderful another episode of Cooking with Sun King. It's your host with the most, Chef Steven. Hi, how's it going? We are back at the signature table at Fisher's Test Kitchen with our wonderful friends from Green Bean Delivery to make Coney dogs. A brief little history if you want one. The Coney dog, kind of from originally, people will say Detroit, Michigan is probably the home. The Germans who have the Frankfurter messed around with the Greeks and Macedonians who had this really cool chili recipe. So this is not traditional chili. This is not a chili dog. This is a Coney sauce. And today we're gonna be featuring some really cool products from our friends at Green Bean, including some bison instead of beef, some really great uncured all beef hot dogs, and just a whole host of spices. We got some stuff from Bourbon Barrel Foods and some great spices from Frontier as well. But all of these spices start off as a traditional chili. We're gonna start with some garlic and onions. We've got the chili powder, we've got cumin, and then we kind of move into those Greek flavors with a little bit of allspice, cinnamon, and oregano. So it's this really unique sauce that goes perfectly with hot dogs, mustard, and onions. You can add cheese if you like, but that's pretty much it. And then we get to get weird with a couple of processes. So let's jump right in. So to get started, ground bison, Woodland Farms, Goshen, Kentucky. I'm actually from Goshen, Indiana, so this is kind of a cool little, what do they call those things? Similarity? I don't know. Oh, there it is, coincidence. But great bison. It is a little leaner, so we are gonna use a little bit of olive oil in our chili. But instead of browning this, normal chilies, pretty much normal anything cooked, you wanna brown your meat first to coax out as much flavor as possible. But the actual texture of really great Coney sauce is super fine. So we need to separate this with a little bit of liquid. So we'll open this up and pour it into our bowl. And then we've got our Indian's lager. This is, that was nice. So Indian lager, of course, from Sun King Brewing. This is a Vienna style lager. It's super crushable this time of year. Not super hoppy, so we can cook this for a long time and it's not gonna get crazy bitter. That maltiness is just gonna provide this really great, nice mouthfeel, a nice backbone, a little bit of sweetness that goes really well in our Coney sauce. Cool. So, massaging the ground bison, or you can use ground beef, you can use ground pork, you can use ground turkey, in this liquid allows me to break all of the individual pieces up. Again, we're not looking for a chunky chili. We are looking for the finest kind of texture possible for our Coney sauce. And this feels weird. It's okay. I even mentioned that in the recipe. This is like one of the weirdest things in food that you ever get to do. Just sit here and massage it. We're looking to get rid of as many of the large chunks as possible. So this is 1 pound of Woodland Farms bison to 16 ounces of Indian's lager. To kind of this meat slurry. This is attractive television right here, kids. And that's pretty much it. We're gonna let this rest for just a couple minutes while we prep the rest of our ingredients. So, to get started, we are going to saute some onions and garlic and just a little bit of olive oil. We're looking just to bring out just a little bit of those flavors. We're not looking to brown. We're definitely not looking to like deeply caramelize or anything like that. And then we will add our spices. So we've got our Frontier ancho chili powder, some smoked paprika. So this is where this is going to take a little bit of turn from the traditional. And then we go in with cumin and then our oregano. And then we have some black pepper and then those spices that we talked about, allspice and cinnamon. Obviously not traditionally used in chili unless you're from the Cincinnati area. You kind of know that sweet spice. All similar kind of backgrounds as far as all of those chilies are concerned. And then of course we'll season salt to taste. We'll also add just a little bit of celery seed. Not celery salt, we're not looking to up the sodium too much in this dish. We want to be able to control that ourselves. And then we'll add our bison. We will let this simmer for about half hour to 45 minutes or so. And when we do, we want that to reduce by just about a third. Our Coney sauce will look beautifully kind of reddish brown. All of the spices will have married and we'll be ready to go. So we're gonna let that simmer for, again, just about 30 to 45 minutes. The meat will eventually cook all the way through, and we'll have this really nice, beautiful Coney sauce to go on our hot dogs. So while we are waiting on our Coney sauce to finish, we're gonna griddle up some hot dogs. As previously mentioned, I think I might have mismentioned, but we have our Chef Martin uncured. These are a pork and beef dog. We're just gonna griddle these. So if you go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to Fort Wayne's Famous, you are going to see a probably 4-foot griddle completely full of hot dogs. Sometimes during busy days, they'll go through almost 1,500 hot dogs a day. We've got 8. Much easier to handle, but we are just looking to warm these through. We want a little bit of crisp. We're not looking for that grilled marks or anything crazy. We want this to be super simple because the star of the show is that Indian's Lager infused Coney sauce. So our Coney sauce has simmered, reduced by just about 1/3. Again, we aren't looking for this to be a thick chili. This Coney sauce should soak into the bun. This is a really cool textural thing. Normally they would steam these buns, but we have super soft, awesome brioche buns that'll kind of act very similarly. And as I mentioned before, the only other 2 ingredients that we're dealing with here are some good yellow mustard and some onions. And so this is pretty much the move if you want to follow along. We've got our bun. We've got our dog. We'll do a swipe of yellow mustard. We'll do this just a couple more times. Swoop of mustard. We've got our Coney sauce. Hopefully the spoon doesn't fall in. And then our onions. Don't like onions, leave them off, that's totally fine. As I mentioned before, if you want cheese, go right ahead. And our onions. Set that right on top. Right there. Put them right like that. And then I'll clean up. So our dogs are plated. Of course, a lot of times when we pair beers, we don't normally use the same beer that we're going to drink it with, but this is a no-brainer. So crisp Vienna Lager, great maltiness, goes perfectly with our Coney sauce that also has the Indian's Lager inside. And so let's crack one open and eat some hot dogs. Gonna do it. Short, sweet, to the point. That was our Indian's Lager Coney dogs. If you're looking for that recipe, it is greenbeandelivery.com/blog. You might see my face there. Hopefully you see these beautiful pictures of food that we do. And of course, we want to thank the Signature Table here at the Fisher's Test Kitchen for hosting. We want to thank all of you for following along. I even got a new apron because of you guys, so thank you. Of course, if you want to continue to follow along with these videos, hit those like and subscribe buttons. We appreciate that as well. Have a great day.